I'm ready. You good?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. 3, 2, 1, ding. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the loading screen. I'm hyped up because I just saw the new Spider-Man movie. It was dope. And I'm smashing coffee, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my comrade in arms for the great video game wars coming of 2029. Phemeto, what's good? What's going on, King of Kings?
Hey, Jen. Oh, cool. I didn't know you saw Spider-Man. I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it for me. Because it's actually one of the only, Marvel movies that I've been interested in seeing the past couple of years. But anyway, hey there, guys. Welcome back. Still trying to get these podcasts going out as much as we can. Happy to have Jin here, as always, as we talk about the recent happenings in our little gaming verse going on. Game Awards just dropped, so there's a ton of trailers and stuff to talk about there. So, yeah, just hang back and, deal with our ramblings for a little bit, I guess. Jin, what do you got drinking over there, man?
Drinking coffee, dude. I'm just getting over a cold, so I don't want to dive in. And tomorrow I'm going pretty hard. Me and some people from work are going to be saying goodbye to somebody who's transferring out. So we're going to be doing Irish car bombs all day. So it's going to be a pretty intense one. Yeah, it's going to be loud. So I'm not going to lie to you.
I can't do car bombs, man.
Oh, I can. I got to save my energy. Like, I got to store up and then I got to die the next day. So, like, it's going to be a rough one, but, like, I can do it over, 3 days. I can do one night of going pretty hard at it. So until then, just some coffee and some gaming.
Nice. I was just finishing up. I haven't Modelo Negros because those are pretty sweet. And then since it's Christmas spirit, I'm also drinking coffee, but I've got Irish coffee going on here with a little bit of Tullamore Dew. So
Nice. I like Jameson in mine myself.
I like Jameson. A lot of people don't like Jameson, like they think it's trash. And I was just like, I don't know, guys. Jameson's pretty good.
Jameson is delicious. It's beyond good. It's just super good.
Yeah, I mean, for a low budget whiskey, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat, to be honest. It's better than fucking Crown and shit. Ugh.
Like $36 for a nice bottle. It's got good taste with it and goes good with root beer. You really can't go anything wrong with it, man. I enjoy Jameson.
Yep. All right. Okay. So let's start in with our Monster Hunter nonsense, because that's typically what people come around for. So we'll get that out of the way so they can leave.
Cool, man.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'll say cool. I jumped in and I watched out. I watched the videos on what we've got coming out. We've got I don't know if I'm saying the names right, Luna Garan and Malzino, or however those two go, but they look fucking sick, dude.
Go ahead.
I like the trailers that I saw. I like the idea behind them both. And I'm glad to see that Sunbreak might bring some stuff in that was sorely missed from the base game. So. Pretty excited, to be honest with you, to see some more coming from it, because so far what they've shown has been pretty enticing.
Really? You think that? Because I'm like the exact opposite. So I think it's pronounced Luna Garen, which is like Odo Garen. It's another Garen species, but it's just lunar. It's a werewolf, basically. So Lunar Garen. But I thought the trailer that we had is like a minute long, and it didn't really show anything other than, hey, there's gonna have a new monster, which obviously, I mean, they're gonna bring a couple of new monsters, and then it looks like a lot of the story is gonna be based upon the Rondine, the traitor lady from Rise. So I mean, that's fine. A lot of people. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not expecting a good story from the game.
I know.
It's like, hey, here's a new hub, Elgato or whatever it is.
Yeah, Elgato. Elgato's the hub.
And now we're fighting, werewolves and shit like that. So, I actually think that's kind of cool, man. I want some interesting monsters to fight, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the Odo Garen fights were pretty dope in base world. They were some of my favorite ones.
I'm really surprised they didn't make it to Rise.
Well, Rise had some problems. Rise got some hiccups there.
Well, I know, but they brought in so many other world monsters like Juratotis, Kuluyaku, Puke, Anjanath. I don't know, a lot of low tier monsters from world. I don't know why they didn't bring Odo Garen in.
They don't know what they're doing, bro. What are you talking about? Why did they add Clutch Cloud to the game? Why did they do a lot of things they did about? They just don't know.
Legiana wasn't in Rise, was it? I don't even remember rosters all that well.
Who?
Legiana? Iceberg?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I'm like, fuck, I don't think so.
I don't know. There's a couple of monsters that they could have brought over. I thought Legiana was fine. But anyway, I don't know. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that's it? Because, I mean, all they really did show was hey, here's one of the new monsters. And I feel like between now and when Sunbreak comes out, we're going to get I don't know, 4 or 5 more of these like 1-minute trailers that just like, hey, here's a new monster, and then like that's it. And then, you know, right before the game comes out, we'll get like, you know, here's the gameplay change trailers. But I feel like once the game comes out, like we're already gonna know all the new monsters and all like the changes for the game. It's not gonna be any real surprises other than whatever the last monster ends up being. And
well, I don't know why you would be surprised by anything. Aster is gonna data mine the thing as soon as the opportunity arises, and we'll know the entire roster in -3 days. So
yeah, I guess
you can't expect that from marketing anymore, especially with how the internet works with like leaks. Like, you can't expect marketing to reveal stuff. That's why I like what we've seen so far. We got some cool ass werewolves, bro. That's awesome. Like, that's a good thing. Like, bring on the wolves, dude. Like, we got dumbass shit that we're fighting, like giant chickens and shit. No, give me a fucking werewolf that's fast as fuck, runs around. It's got like a Castlevania vibe to it, dude. Like, I like that. Like,
with the werewolf and the vampire dragon, yeah, it does seem more Castlevania. I was actually curious to what other monsters are gonna do, because we thought, well, we knew it was all gonna be like Western mythology rather than, you know, Eastern mythology, which is what the yokai stuff was. And I'm curious what else they're gonna do, because it feels like it's gonna be more European, not so much like American folklore kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't really know too much about what could be in the game, but like a Medusa, I think would be really cool. Or a Hydra.
No, dude. Boss Kebab, we get a fucking Jack the Ripper version.
Oh, that'd be a sick collab with anything. Just a reskin. He's got like his fucking top hat and a trench coat on, and he's got like sickles and shit. Oh, that'd be really cool. Dude.
That's all you need, bro. That's all you need. Just give me that. I'm signed up, man. I'm already in. Give me
Jack the Ripper Boss Kebab would be amazing. Like they can make it so like he's not ice, but he does like bleed, like Seregios and Odogaron did. Like they do bleed status. Oh, that'd be awesome.
It takes no time. It's the skin.
Yeah.
It's a skin that changes the damage type. Leave it. If you want to add an animation, cool. Either way, I'm signed up, bro. That fight's already fun as shit.
Okay, when that comes out on PC, we need to get that a mod. We need to put like a top hat and a coat on him.
100%.
That'd be so cool. But so stuff like that, yeah, would get me hyped. Like seeing cool shit like that. Yeah. But that's not what I'm getting out of these trailers. Really, I'm getting like it doesn't make me hyped. I see the trailer and I go, oh, that's it. They showed us one of the new monsters, which is fine because, you know, people get hyped for the monster. But my main problem going into Sunbreak though is that it's just gonna be more Rise with, you know, more Rampage quests and more monsters and a couple new Silkbinds. And I really don't want it to be that. I really want these trailers to start showing the actual gameplay changes or what else they're gonna do to the game, because I don't want just more Rise. I don't think anyone does. I want to see a different like gameplay mode, not Rampage, for something for people to do, because right now there's literally 2 things you can do in Rise. You can do Rampage and then you can hunt, you know, the normal monsters. Like World and stuff had like the sieges and stuff, which I know people didn't really like, but Cold Teroth was a great fucking fight. Nobody just like grinding for this RNG drops. So it had those. It had tempers, it had arc tempers, it had the investigations to like kind of go out and do your deco farm. It had stuff to do. Rise doesn't have anything to do. I want them to start showing that, hey, we're gonna be, you know, adding this stuff so you can give players the ability to go do this to do this, or farm this here, or whatever. I need more gameplay options, really. I know it's a Monster Hunter game, and all you do, you go out and hunt monsters, but I'm getting a little tired of it, and I kind of want more stuff to do besides, hey, automatically teleport in front of the monster, fight the monster, and that's it.
See, that's exactly what I want back. I'm the exact opposite. I want no gimmicks, no Rampage, remove the whole goddamn thing, tear the whole goddamn roof off it, and just give me and the monster in a room. Let me fight it. If you want to give me some ledges, of course, I'm gonna be fucking thankful. But you want to give me a flat surface to just smack it around, fine. That's why I bought it. It's called Monster Hunter. Like the storyline, like 2 paragraphs. No, crap. Not even trying to get behind that, not even trying to have that conversation. There are a million other video games. You try to tell me, oh, well, it's got XYZ and it's good for XYZ. No, the storyline is crap. It's garbage compared to anything else out there. You can buy an indie game on your phone for 99 cents, and the story is literally 40 times as engrossing as any Monster Hunter game. But that's okay. That's not what the game's about. The game's about fighting monsters, and it's really, really good at it. It's the best simulator for like high-level gameplay of you versus something that's trying to fuck you up. Like, it's a really good fucking series for that. So I want them to get back to that. I don't want Rampage mode. Like, if you want to give me a different, like Siege. I'll take that because that's still fighting the mon in some ways. I have to do damage. Rampage was kind of dumb. It's really obstacle driven based. You know what I mean? It's just
it's tower defense. That's all it was. Is tower defense.
It's not engrossing. It's a small reprieve from the rest of the other farming stuff. But then again, they could have just brought over Culture Off again, and Culture Off is better than Siege mode. So like that's the reality of it. I'd rather do Culture Off than Siege mode any day of the week, and as my break in any of these games. So like that being said, that just shows you how impactful Siege mode is. Like nobody
wants or not Siege, even Rampage mode.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, nobody wants Rampage
we
mode.
didn't have Monster Rampage. We didn't buy that.
Yeah, but I feel like they're not gonna give up Rampage because this is just like the G-Rank expansion. Typically they keep it. They're probably not gonna do a whole lot with it, but they're not gonna change it. But it'll still be like there in the game, and that's gonna feel bad because nobody wants it. Like I don't know. I really wish it would do something to spicing it up somehow, but I don't know how they would do it. But
I think what I would want is a way to get better weapon RNG. Like I would want, I think I talked about it before with you, like a drop system that like Call of Head, but except instead of getting like XYZ weapons, you would have an option to get XYZ components to then like further build out your stuff further and further than we've even got with like, adding, points of, just layers of shit deeper than we've actually got, because they've got the capability of giving
kind of
us
like
the whole
Safi Jiva weapons where you get the materials and you could build your own weapons.
But I mean, like, think about it. They've got that in the game already. You could expand on that, like, 2 more layers and have just way more stuff. So, like,
because they're very limited. Like, all the people's Rampage weapons are shit. Like, nobody uses them. There's, like, a couple niche uses, and that's about it.
If you want me to do that thing, then give me the RNG to give me a little variety. Like, oh, okay, I got this again. I got this from a Culture Off fight style thing, where it's like there's a randomly generated drops that could be something worthwhile and built into something, like the Safi Jiva weapons, because they've got the tech for it. Like, there's no excuse to not have this. Telling me that all I'm gonna get is, basic Elgato, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Like,
but that's what I'm saying is I really want the trailers to start showing stuff like that to get me excited, because just showing a monster, obviously there's gonna be new monsters. I'd rather them not show the monsters in the trailers, because then I'd be surprised and see him in game. Like if the quest hunt didn't have the fucking icon of the monster, and like if they just dropped you into these hunts and then you had to go figure it out, or like see it for the first time and then the icon would show up, that would be cool. I want to be surprised. I feel like when like these Monster Hunter games are starting to come out now, they show off everything before the game comes out, and it's like I'm not surprised by anything. I think the only thing that surprised me in Rise was that Bagel Goose got stealth dropped in a patch, so we didn't know he was going to get released. We knew he was going to be in the game, but we didn't know when, and then they just kind of dropped it as an invader. We're like, what the fuck?
That was dope.
So that was cool. But like, so I want them to show more gameplay changes and what else they're going to be adding, and not just, hey, here's all the monsters, because I still want to be surprised by that, but I want to be hyped by, oh, all this stuff that I didn't like is now getting changed, or we're getting all this new stuff to play with. That's what gets me excited. I know it's going to be more monsters. I know they're going to be great. A lot of the monster fights are really good, especially these newer ones. I think, Sarah was posting on Twitter, like, he's surprised that, like, we're how many games in and they're still making really good monster fights. Like, yeah, they can make good monster fights, and like, I'm not gonna be surprised by that at all. We know we're getting those. I want to see the stuff that I know or don't know that we're getting.
We're not getting any good. I don't know, man. Like, we need good monster fights, though. Like, that's why I'm glad I'm seeing this, like, these new ones coming out. We didn't see
the fight. We just saw the monster, and like, that's we know we're getting new monsters. It's like,
we don't know how many, man. I don't know. Like, we don't know. And for all I know, it could be dumb, stupid crap. Like, there's been some dumb ones.
I mean, we're gonna get a lot of returning monsters. I know that.
We could get like a variant of Kulayaku or something stupid too. Like, we could get some bad shit. So when they show me a good monster, I'm very excited about it. But you know what? Like, we can kind of transition here a little bit, because I think the reason I'm so excited is because I got a little Elden Ring bleed over, because I know that we got some good games coming out, so I assume that everyone's trying to raise the bar a little bit, right? Because they all know, like, they don't get the pass like they had last year with, system transitioning and pandemic. We've been in the pandemic, 2 years now. People have learned to adapt and adjust, and companies are doing whatever. And I think Elden Ring really just set the new standard
We don't know that yet. I hope. We hope. We definitely hope.
No, we know it, and we'll get into it here in about 20 minutes. But I'll explain in a big breakdown why. First, let's go into some more Monster and stuff so we can get this out of the way. One frame co-op shenanigans.
Did you see the videos that Deva and Sibel were doing? Yeah. So this is one of the things, like, it's not cheating, but it's like it just goes to show how ridiculous like running has become for Monster Hunter World. So basically, you can change the frame rate of your game, and I don't know if you can do it actually legally. I think you have to like set it up in like Cheat Engine or something to set it to 1 frame. I don't think the game will let you select 1 fucking frame. But basically, they have the host of the game play at 1 frame, and because the clock goes by frame counter, not like an actual clock. And so the guest who is playing on their 60, 120 frames, whatever, they can go hunt a monster that literally like isn't working, and then it goes up on the host screen and says, oh, you killed in like 8 seconds because it's 1/120th of whatever the fuck they were playing at. And so now every time you see like times, like people post like, fucking, you don't know what the fuck is going on anymore, and God knows what other shit is going on behind the scenes. Like, it's cool that they showed this stuff, and they I wouldn't say they necessarily found it out, because I guess it was posted a long time ago, but just bringing it to light just shows like how crazy like you can like get things to be in World. It's nutty, man. Like, I'm glad I'm not doing World runs anymore.
No, you can't, man. Like, there's no point. Like, what are you gonna get out of it? Like, anytime anyone shows me anything, I'm like, it doesn't matter, because unless there's some new variants on an innovative way to like pull a monster, get a monster to fuck up its AI, get it to zone transition.
No, use mods to fuck up the AI. That's how people are doing it nowadays.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so that now I don't even know what the fuck you're really doing. So if I can't recreate it myself, I don't think it's I don't think it's valid. And seeing some of these times, people like, they're just blatant stupid shit. Like, and once you've been exposed, like, just heads up, like, if you've ever been caught cheating, like, you're a cheater. Like, you don't stop. Like I'm sorry. Like, once you've cheated in something as lame as Monster Hunter, you continue to cheat in it. So there's a lot of speedrunners that are out there that are still top names in the communities, and we've all know that you've cheated. I don't know why people would still follow any of them. It's embarrassing, and that's why this kind of scene is embarrassing right now. So hopefully Sunbreak fixes that. And yeah, man, I don't know. I
don't think so. Like, my only hope is that because Rise is on the RE2 engine and it's not the M2 framework that World is, that modding's gonna have to take a long time to catch up. I know they could already make mods for it. I know Fexty on TDS side is making mods for like the PC demo and stuff like that, and that's cool. I just hope none of like the crazy shit, like the overlay stuff and the AI editing and all that stuff, I really hope that doesn't come out for a while.
Unfortunately, it will.
You think so? You think like day one or like week one?
I would say before the game launches officially, because we'll have illegal versions of the game a couple days. We will have mods somehow 2 days before those illegal versions of the game comes out. I think we're gonna get the mods, then the illegal version of the game, then the full release. I'm not even joking. Like, I swear to you, I'm telling you right now, these characters are so good. Like, I don't think people realize like how insane some of these.
Well, I know, dude. I don't know if it's specifically the Monster Hunter modding community, but these people are fucking genius.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm specifically talking about the Monster Hunter modder community. They are on a different level of fucking coding.
Well, I don't know about other modding communities, but yes, the Monster Hunter people are fucking insane.
It's better than the base game content by tenfold. Like it really is. Like, it's absolutely insane. So, I mean, look at the world that they created, the special level. Like, I'm not even gonna talk about it. It's better than anything else in the game.
That new tower is sick.
That's it. Like, that's the best. They'll have that stuff set up before because they've got the demo, and like they'll end up having it done for it like that. They'll have the demo stuff. As soon as they get like anything preloaded, one of them will crack that, and then they'll just translate over whatever they already made. Like, I'm telling you, they're gonna have everything because they want to like spite, like, and say like, hey, we can make a better game, because they've tried suggesting it and like they feel like they're not listened to for like years. So like, I think that's really cool that we know people that can make the game better, and they actually do. So that's why this game's so awesome. Like, they'll get it to the point where it's incredible. Like, I mean, if you guys haven't seen Ice, quick shout out. I'm sure we got a link we can put on screen right now.
I'll put it on the thing, the banner, except for the Discord.
And go grab that up. They definitely have put in a lot of work, and it's absolutely the best version of the game, I would say. It's fresh, it's fun. My daughter loves it.
I've been seeing people who aren't even like, big into Monster Hunter, like going around and playing ice and getting ice and trying to ask, where to get it. Like, I peruse Twitch every now and then, just seeing what people are playing. And I've seen other people playing like GU or other Monster Hunter games that are just kind of like variety streamers that just, play here and there. And then I see people recommending them, hey, you should play Ice World, and try to tell them how to do that. I was like, oh, that feels so good. I'm sitting there in chat not saying anything, like, he doesn't even know. But I don't know, it feels really good to see like people embracing it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. It's that time of year. So going to other stuff, I know you had a game you wanted to talk about, Metal Fatigue.
Oh, so actually I wanted to bring up like a subject and see what you had on this. So everyone is like, well, I want to say everyone, a lot of us have been gaming for a long fucking time. And we all have those games that we like that nobody's ever heard of. Like your favorite game that's just like a totally obscure game. Do you have a game like that is just like nobody's ever seen, or you don't think anyone else has played but you, but for whatever reason you liked it?
Absolutely.
So what do you got for me?
Without even thinking about it, dude. As soon as you started this conversation, Ogre Battle for Super Nintendo.
I'm fucking YouTubing this right now.
Ogre Battle for Super Nintendo is one of the greatest video games that has ever been made for anything ever.
What is Ogre Battle?
Ogre Battle is a open world RPG where you create a army of like 250 characters with like all kinds of stats, and you do missions based off of like an RPG kind of style story, inviting special characters based off of your choices. You have to understand, when this game came out, it was like 1990 something.
Yeah, it was Super Nintendo, so yeah, early 90s. So it looks like it's like almost like a Final Fantasy map, but you have like your troops and stuff, and you get into like Final Fantasy type battles. Yes,
based off of stats with items, and based off of your like choices, your battle tactics. They do stuff like you don't get to like input commands outside of like interrupt stuff, which is a whole separate subject on it. But you build out your army, and then you try to go through each level doing things. There's opposition armies coming after you of the same stats, same classes, evolved obviously a little bit more, so it's a little bit more difficult, so you don't just dog walk stuff. And based off of your choices, you have different story endings. There's like 13 endings. There's also like a shit ton of characters. There's floating continents in the sky that you can't see unless you have a specific sword. There's hidden levels that you'll never see unless you do like a bunch of extra shit. There's a whole sub-branching storyline of grabbing like 12 Zodiac stones. There's 3 dragoons in the game. It's absolutely incredible. Like the game's great.
I was gonna say, it's crazy for me to think about games that long ago and how much depth they have, and then the file size of the games are like a meg or something ridiculous.
Yeah, because the games were just better back then. Like that's it. Like if you like think about that, like you just said it yourself, just in terms of how small it is. Like that's not only graphics, dude. It was just better gameplay, better coding. Like the games were just better back in the day because they had to be to sell more. Now it's you sell Call of Duty. Well, actually, no. Like recently, we've seen a surge. I think we talked about this a couple times. Some of these producers and game makers
started to be held accountable a little bit.
and I'm glad. I'm all for that. So kudos to everybody. I hope we keep that shit going. In fact, drive it up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everything's got to be poo-pooed and stuff like that, because we want to support the games that we should support, but they can't keep getting by with this, you know what I mean? Like, we made jokes about, like, Dragon Age, but I'm glad they fucking stuffed that one real hard. I'm glad that Call of Duty's getting body checked. Battlefield got fucking dropped on its neck. Fucking other people got fucking kicked in their kneecaps, got some elbows broken over at EA. Blizzard's dead.
Blizzard's gone. I feel like they're not going to be, like, Blizzard just won't be a thing soon. Like, they're going to gut the name and then gut that half of the company. And be like, we're just Activision again.
Yeah, I don't even think Activision's going to get away with it, because they got all that other stuff going on, too.
I think people associate it more with Blizzard, to be honest. I think they can cut Blizzard's name out and then just take over the IPs and call it a day.
California's going after Activision.
Really? Not Blizzard? It's straight up Activision?
I thought the lawsuit from, like, the discriminatory stuff towards women, and then, like, shredding documents was because of like a bunch of weapons. I could be incorrect, so if I am, I'm sorry.
I think it started with the Blizzard side of the company, but then, the CEOs and stuff that obviously oversee everything that were on Activision's side, started doing a bunch of shit. And now, it's pointing more towards, Bobby Kotick himself and the higher ups. But I feel like it started with Blizzard.
Yeah, they're saying Activision Blizzard is being sued by California.
Well, yeah, because Activision or Blizzard is owned by Activision. But I think like the people specifically they're talking about and what started was all like the managers and shit at Blizzard.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the whole thing. I'm just looking at them.
Also, I'm gonna put like the video up of Ogre Battle. The game looks fucking cool, dude. Like I've never seen it, so good. But I was like, for Super Nintendo, like there's a lot of shit going on these maps.
Bro, think of it this way. So you've got a standard fighter class, right? You've got like a fighter, and then you've got a so it's like two branching ones, and pardon it for being 1990 and being, whatever based. You've got fighter, which is usually male looking stuff, and then you've got Amazon, which is more female looking stuff. Fighter, for example, based off of how you level up, you get to like level 4. It can become a knight, or if you keep it at level 4 and you advance to the next level and say drop its alignment stat by killing enemies that are like 2 levels below it, which drops your alignment or whatever the specific level calculation is, and then at level 5, if your alignment's say 35 or below, you can turn it into a wizard. You've got so many different branching classes, so the fighter can turn into like 13 different things, and then those things all evolve into something else. And then you've got the Amazon that can turn into a bunch of shit.
I love that kind of shit in RPGs.
Oh, like it's the best.
Class branching and stuff is the coolest shit.
So then check this out. Then in your team components, when you make your teams, you can make like I don't even know how many and
well, it looks like you get like 9, like 9. It looks like 9 teams, like 9 of like. Of 5 6. Guys, maybe it's 6. Yeah, 6 guys of up to 6 guys. So you have up to like 58, 60 people in your army.
5. Might be 5. I think it's 5. I think you're right. It is 5. It is 5. And it's really dope because depending on where they're at, either in the front row or the back row, they get different attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, a knight in the front row gets 2 swings. If it's in the back row, it only gets 1, but it receives half damage.
Right.
If it upgrades at a certain point and you've got high alignment, you can turn it into a paladin. And in the front row, it gets 3 swings. And in the back row, it gets 1 heal. So you can base your stuff off how you want to do it. And in the game, undead units, which are some of the strongest ones, take shit tons of damage from healing because it's very rare. So you could even like see one of those coming, throw him into the back just so he's sitting there with the heal, ready to cast on all the enemies at once. So you can really do some fucking high level stuff. That same night, if you get a random drop, which could happen anytime in the game, called like a blood kiss, you can use it on your fighter, and he'll go into a coffin during the day, and at night he's a vampire. Completely different branching class. So they've got not only the classes that are based off of level, they've got class advancement based off of stats, higher or lower. Then they've got item advancement when you reach a certain level that branches off. And then they've even got special characters that are like unique. Like I was talking about, like the 3 dragoons, like you can get them in your party and they're just like absolutely fucking gross. Like,
I feel like if they continue this would be like a much better Fire Emblem.
Dude, it's the same people that did Tactics Ogre and that have done all those games. So yeah, like they're still out there doing stuff. God damn, this game is so fucking good.
Yeah, like I really want to see like a very good modernized version of this.
Oh yeah, dude, everybody would. Why don't you talk about yours, man? Tell us a little bit about that bad boy.
Oh yeah, so I don't know, someone brought it up on Discord the other day and it just got me thinking. So I was really into like RTS stuff back in the day. And like obviously like because I played Blizzard games like Warcraft 2, StarCraft and stuff, all the rage. And so my father went to Fry's one day and picked up a random RTS game that he's never seen called Metal Fatigue by fucking Zonos Studio, whatever. Random fucking game. Came out in like 1999 or 98, I think, something like that. Late 90s. And it's basically it's an RTS game that's based upon mechs. And so you have 3 different factions that have different styles of mechs, and then you can build certain components of mechs, like the arms, their chest, their legs, And then they have different like properties, like you can have like axe arms, shield arms, guns. You can have like missile torsos, jet packs, jump jets, like laser legs, energy shield stuff. And then you have like a mech hanger, and you assemble your mech, and then that's like your big hero troop. And then you also get like tanks and flyers and bombers and stuff as like your supporting units. And so you build out a bunch of mechs, and you go like harass people and, you know, do RTS stuff that you think. And then as you kill other people's mechs, you can like hack off like their arms and like their chests and stuff as like they die. And then you can pick up those pieces and bring them back to your research base, and you can research their equipment, and you can start making their mech parts in your mech base. And then the really cool thing about the game was that it actually played on 3 different levels at once. So you have to keep track of all your resources and stuff in orbit of the planet, on the surface of the planet, and then underground, where you'd have like all your tanks and stuff. And like your flyer units could like, and mechs with jump jets could transition between like your surface and your orbit planes, and you can start moving people around. And the game was really, really cool, and I really liked this RTS. It had a lot going on for it, and it was being that it was early 2000s, late 90s, like when StarCraft has just been out, which is StarCraft's like, you know, is a pretty standard flat 2-dimensional game. This game was, you know, fully 3D, and it looked, I mean, it's jank back in the day, but it looked really good, and I fucking loved this game. And it had, you know, co-op and multiplayer, like 8-player battles and shit. And I played so much fucking Metal Fatigue with my family, and nobody has ever heard of the game. Nobody's ever played it. It's actually on Steam, and I wanted to go buy it. It's like $5 on Steam right now. And I really wish I had done another one, but the game obviously didn't sell well. There was no advertising for it, nothing. And it made me really sad because someone brought up like, you know, games they'd never heard of in Discord, and I just started thinking about Metal Fatigue, and I was like, fuck, man, I really want to play that game again. The game was so good.
It's good to have games like that, ones that, you know, invoke feelings of just being like, this was like the standard. This was something for like a good time, a good memory. So yeah, man, I'm glad you got that game. Those other ones that you talked about on the script here, I didn't look at too much. I am excited for a Warhammer game. You know, we got Space Marine 2 coming out. So Warhammer, I think, is one of the only franchises that I don't know how it didn't get like good. Like, I don't know how, like, it's got such great world building, but, like, they haven't done, like, a really good game yet, or, like, a good movie.
But there has been a couple of good Warhammer games. So, sorry, you kind of jumped ahead. I just want to talk about, like, the Video Game Awards stuff, because they dropped a lot of trailers, and we're just talking about shit that was going on there. So, Jen's talking about they dropped the Space Marine 2 game, but, like, but Warhammer has some really good titles. Like, the Vermintide series gets a lot of good reception. The first Space Marine game was really good. I mean, they're not really mainstream, like, but because Warhammer itself is not really for everybody. It's got a very niche community to begin with. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's not like they don't put out good stuff. They put out a lot of stuff, I think, is the issue. Is they license Warhammer to fucking everybody. It seems like every year there's 1 or 2 Warhammer games coming out. That's the problem. Like, everything that comes out, that's all. It's a sea of poop. Yeah. There's just so many. And so the Space Marine 2 game looks really good. I actually want to play it just because I love Space Marines, and it's just going to be a shooter game, obviously. The only complaint that I really had with a lot of these trailers and stuff is they showed, like, literally zero gameplay. Like, it's all cinematic. So, like, I don't exactly know how it's going to be or what it's going to look like. I just know the first Space Marine was pretty good, and so I kind of wanted to get into this one. But, like, why the fuck do they always come out with non-gameplay trailers? I'll tell you right now. It's really easy. You look at what they've done with, like, any of the big titles that came out that were supposed to be whatever. They can't show gameplay anymore because it exposes how bad these games are at the current state. It doesn't let them get away with, you know, day one patch shenanigans and all this stuff, which is why it's so cool with what Elden Ring did. And it just fucking blows my mind. Again, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Yeah. You look at Cyberpunk, tried to keep everything under the hood, and we all saw why. Yeah, I think Cyberpunk actually blew the lid off a lot of this stuff. Is when they stopped, like, giving, like, because it was so abhorrent, it was so blatant. It was like, are you serious? You delayed it that long, and you thought that that people weren't going to absolutely go under the hood on this thing and scrutinize it? Well, not even that, but like even like coming up to like the launch, they didn't let anyone have review codes for anything besides the PC version. Nobody could say anything about anything of the game. You couldn't release anything until the game was already out.
So redacted.
Yeah, like it was kept under tight wraps, and it's like for good reason. So I feel like now anytime any company does something like that with like a review embargo or something, people are gonna be like, it's a shit game.
Well, yeah, I'll never buy another Project Red, CD Projekt. I'll never buy something from them again day one. Like never, I'll even try. Like, I'm close. Like I'm glad
are they even working on anything? I don't know if they could even put out a game at this point.
They're probably just sued to oblivion for just releasing trash that doesn't run on the system that they say it runs on. So, I mean, if you try to tell me that the game was made for people, that game was playable on PlayStation 4, you're lying. Like nobody beat that game on PlayStation 4 until they fixed it.
Because it doesn't run. I don't think it even sells on PS4 anymore. I still don't think you can buy it.
You can.
You can? Because they took it off the store. I thought they permanently kept it off. I thought they let you play it on PS5, but not PS4.
No, they fixed it like months later.
Okay, I stopped following it, I guess. I thought it was still off on like the last gen consoles.
I could be wrong, but I thought they did. If they didn't, then that's just even more shame on them.
Right. So one of the other trailers, I don't know if you saw, I got a link here that we wanted to watch, Evil West.
Like Remnant?
It does look like Remnant, but this actually showed gameplay, and the game looks really flipping good. Actually, I don't know any of the studio. I don't know if this game was like a franchise, because it seems like a knockoff of Evil Dead, but now it's Evil West.
I'll take it.
Yeah, but like it looks really good, and I actually really want to play it. I don't know when it's coming out, but it looks like a really good, just straight up third person shooter. They'll have some fun, like gibletize a bunch of enemies kind of game.
I'll absolutely get behind this game, dude. I like Purple Lightning. I like killing evil shit, and I like being able to power up my character, which I think we're gonna get. And it looks like there's a lot of little like Dark Souls-esque shots, like when they just showed that creature coming out of the fire, like the fire hallway, and then the thing at the end reminds me of the Dragon God being there. So I don't know, man. I'm definitely gonna get behind it a little bit.
It looks like some of the enemies have like the Doom thing where like they glow and you can do like melee finishers on them or finishing moves on them. It seems like that's gonna be a huge part of the gameplay. So it's gonna play like kind of like Doom, where you shoot someone and they get really low and they start flashing, and then like you do like whatever weapons finishing move on them to get resources. So I feel like that's gonna be the gameplay loop of it. But like so basically like Doom but third person, which I mean I'm all for it, to be honest.
Big fan of Doom.
Also,
Forever.
I just really like shooter games, and I like good shooter games because there's a lot of shitty shooter games out there now. So anytime they start showing one that actually looks fun, I'm like, all right, I'll keep my eye out on it. But again, no release date, just sometime 2022.
Speaking of things that look fun, Nightingale.
Yeah, did you watch this trailer?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It gave me, it was like a combination of like Civilization and BioShock, where like I felt like we got like some cool world building. I got to see some cool gameplay. I got to see some big monsters. Again, man, really easy to just start making me get a little bit excited by showing me that that's part of the core gameplay. And I'm always a fan of cyberpunk stuff. So like, I know it's gothic. It isn't really.
It's like it's like a weird mix. I don't know what you would call that, because I think Evil West has got a similar like aesthetic where it's like old gothic European, but then there's like some science thrown in, but it's not really steampunk. I don't know what that's called. Does that have a genre?
Not steampunk. I don't know, man. Like it's just cool. Like it's just cool. I don't think there's something that gets to that, because you see that a couple times in video games, and you don't really you don't really have a description for it. So it's definitely not cyberpunk or like steampunk, but it's what I mean. It's like gothic plus a little little gadgetry. I don't know what we would call it.
I don't know either. But it was cool that they did show some gameplay. It looks like it is going to be more of just like an open world kind of survival game, kind of like what's the game that came out that other people were playing? Is it Midgard? Not Midgard. There was another survival game, like some Nordic survival game. I think it was Midgard that people were playing.
There was a lot. I can't remember.
Yeah, I forget. Sorry, I don't know the name, but I didn't play it. But so I like survival games, and my problem with them is typically they come out like in an early access kind of state where there's kind of really bare bones, and I'm really hoping that's not the case here, because if they do, I feel like that's just gonna kill the game, because I think people played that Nordic one a lot, and then it quickly fell off because there's kind of not a whole lot to do because it is early access, and I think that kills a lot of these survival genre type games. But I like the art, and I like the the world building of it. I really hope it doesn't fall flat because it's going to come out early, like, or too early, and they're gonna be like, oh hey, you can play, or you can pre-order now and play the early access, and then like that's what people's impressions of the game are going to be like. That's going to be the game to them, and then people are just going to lose interest.
Yeah, holding my interest, just going into any video game, if I know the length, that really impacts it a lot. One of the games that we were going to talk about coming up, Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dream, looks absolutely incredible. Like, and they always make stuff that looks fun from their previous games too. However, their games are not long, and I can't justify 60 to, I think it's at this point it's like $64.99.
It's going to be $70.
See, I can't pay that. I'm not paying that for a 6 to 8 hour game. Like, that's why I was so taken back by God of War when it came out previously. I was like, I'm not getting this. I'm not playing some 6 hour game again. And then they were like, dude, that game's like, 40 hours of fun. I'm like, what? I was like, let me see this. And I was like, oh my God, this game's so
Did
good.
you actually finish it?
Hell yeah.
Okay, well,
that's like one of the few ones that God of War is fucking incredible. Like, the other God of Wars were not good. Like, you can't say they were good by any, like, they were button mashing games.
And that's the thing, that's why I never liked the God of War franchise. I wasn't into that button mashing, just beat 'em up style game.
No, they went hard. You just literally swung the deadliest weapon that you ever found and then ran in a circle, like little Sonic the Hedgehog shit. Like, we learned that shit in 1993 playing Sega the Genesis. Like, we don't gotta play that shit now.
Do you think the Star Wars game, is it gonna be, you think, like just like a narrative game, like Heavy Rain and stuff?
Yep.
Because obviously they just showed a trailer. They didn't have any gameplay or anything like that, but they didn't show.
They're not known for anything else, bro.
Well, I mean, but that doesn't mean they can't make something else. But you don't think they're going to? You think it's just going to be like? But I mean, but that's fine because Star Wars has got so much lore and already done world building. Like, I think it's actually not that difficult to make a good, compelling story because literally all the characters, places, and stuff is already made for you.
You're gonna have to give me like 40 hours gameplay though, bro. Can't give me a 6 hour story.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you're right in that, if it's gonna be something like Detroit or Heavy Rain, like you'll get maybe 10 tops, and then you'll be done, and then you can replay the same story and try to do alternate paths, but that's about it.
Yep, no, not going on that one. Let's keep going down the list here. Wanted to touch base just to make a joke on the catfish stuff that recently happened in the Monster Hunter community. We're not going to go naming names because I'm never going to get in trouble legally for anything. But I do think it's absolutely hilarious how many of y'all fell for that shit.
I thought it was funny. I didn't know about it until like weeks, months later. People were talking about it on Discord.
I was looking at my shit on Discord. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, people go to some crazy lengths to start fooling people.
Well, that, and then the people who got fooled, dude, I was like, oh.
You want to do the review wrap up for people who don't know? Just, I mean, not to name names, but just kind of like what happened.
Someone pretended to be a female Monster Hunter speedrunner using someone else's photos and catfished over 100 people for money, gifts, rent, and it's like a 17-year-old kid. And it's just the fun. Like, I'm just.
But the cover up got deep too.
Bro, it was bad. There was like fake accounts made, and then fake accounts on fake accounts, and then people messaging themselves to make it look like there was dialogues going. There was
the OnlyFans page from
bro. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know what we should talk about. Make sure we got like some kind of disclaimer on this saying that, like I don't know. Anyway, just want to touch base on how funny that is, and that is another reason why the Monster Hunter speedrunning community really needs to be kind of looked at and just kind of get their shit together. Hopefully, we get a good game that we can rally behind and never ever have that happen again. Because I blame Rise for.
I blame Rise for everything bad that happens. I mean, that's fair. Because if we were having fun playing a game, we wouldn't have all this time to harass each other.
When World was out, none of this happened. None of these things happened when World was out. When World was out, we didn't have to worry about 1 second adjusted frame rate runs. I'm sorry. World was the best Monster Hunter. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The most people playing it, the most people competing at it, the most fun. Like, I don't care. Like, that's it. Uh, Now we can start talking about the cool stuff here, getting closer to the end of
Wait,
the...
hold on. Well, since we're still on that path, I want to bring up the other thing from the Video Game Awards. Did you see that ridiculous? I don't know if the game's out or if it's like coming out. That there's like the Phemeto game. Like, how was that made? Like after the whole like cuties fiasco that Amazon went through. Like it's something with the V, Doge V, Doki V, or whatever the fuck it is. And then they have this big old like pedo music video. Like, first off, maybe like they're geniuses and they're making this game to trap people, and so like the people who buy it, they automatically get flagged by the FBI or something. But this game is made for everyone, like specific core audience, and I kind of want to see who is streaming that game, like on Twitch or whatever, whenever it's out, just so I know who the fuck is playing it, because I mean, you got to start watching out for those people. Like, that game is gross looking. Like, how is it a thing? I don't get it. Like,
I got kids, bro, and I got a hot wife, and I didn't have anything super weird happen to me. I guess that would make me want to be into that stuff. So I got no words for you on it. I got none. I don't know, man.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't want kids at all, but I'm like, fuck that shit.
Kids. I'm saying, like, I have kids, so like I don't know how someone could be interested in that kind of shit. Like, it's weird. It's super weird. Just weird, man.
It's weird shit. That game shouldn't exist. I hope it gets like flagged into oblivion and destroyed.
Probably will. It's usually what people do. They kind of turn on that shit right away, as they should. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. You got a lot to talk about with Elden Ring. We did get that sweet new story trailer.
Dude. So you have to remember that as bad as the taste everyone has in their mouth of Game of Thrones right now, the original couple seasons,
because the last weren't written by George R.R. Martin.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to remember, like, those first couple, the writing, and like, I understand they had some bad dialogue, but like the writing of the books, everyone agrees the books are absolutely fucking incredible. You can see that he still has it in Elden Ring by just the small little tidbits of the items from the network test, from the now story that we're getting, about how the ring was smashed, what the shattering was, Godfrey, just learning about all this stuff. It's really, really well done. It took what they made with their previous series and it brought it to where they wanted it to be. This is the game that they probably dreamt of after they made like Dark Souls. They're like, God, what else can we do? You know what I mean? They were like, we nailed it, right? Like, oh, we knocked this one out. Like, what can we do next? You know what I mean? They were like, well, we got part 2 in development. They were like, yeah, but we started on part 2, like halfway through this when we knew we were gonna do something close to it, whatever. But like, what do we do next? And like, this is it. This is the everything that they made in like Demon Souls to Dark Souls to Bloodborne to Sekiro, like combat. You got the jumping now from Sekiro. You've got the world building from all the games, whichever one you want to identify as the best. We definitely saw inventory options. We saw lore building. We saw, now that you're talking about story that is like not just fragmented, but is connected and interwoven.
Do you think it's gonna be like that for the whole game though? Like, you think we're actually gonna have like characters spewing dialogue and having actual quest lines and like stories to progress, or do you think this is just like, hey, here's a video that gives you the background of what's going on, and then we're gonna jump into the game and it's gonna be like Dark Souls again, where it's just you figure it out, fuckface?
We're not going to get like text boxes that pop up and say, hi, my name is Jeff. I'm the innkeeper. I'm here to ask you to come save my cow, because if you save my cow, I'll give you 16 gold and 4 Estus flask jars. You know what I mean? Like, we won't get that. We'll get some cool dialogue and however they want to translate that in the medium to us. We're going to definitely get some kind of like deeper stuff than we've ever gotten before, because they have the capability to do it. One of the things that a lot of these guys pride themselves on, if you've seen it, is they pride themselves on their work being viewed like in a very, very good light. They go at this game really, the whole series from Software, everything they do is pretty fucking hardcore, and I think it shows in what they said with their comment about marketing. In a recent interview, they were asked, like, hey, why didn't you guys do any marketing, for the game, blah, 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 outside of, the couple release videos that you guys have, now put out. They're like, their response was roughly translate to, we'd rather work on the game.
Well, because marketing is also huge budget too. Like people spend millions. Like
I don't know, man.
No, like I forget where I was seeing like a bunch of marketing stuff. Like marketing for movies and high budget video games is like the budget for the marketing is equal to or greater than the budget for the project.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, because you just go to social media with it, because video games are definitely influenced by social media now more than anything that you see on television, more than anything you see on Facebook. Like I don't go to Facebook for my video games. I might stream something on Facebook, but I'm not looking on Facebook to how a video game works or like if it's going to be good or not. Like that's not where I'm getting my information. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that they went really, really hardcore into it, and that just shows too that the game is going to be even better than we thought. Because if you think
they
about
have the confidence, they don't need
exactly,
to.
Exactly, yeah. and we do too, because we've got the network test. This was the difference maker to see how good is this game going to be. Can we give it to them now in a small fraction and let's see the results? And everyone was like, this is so fucking good. Oh my God, how do we get outside of this goddamn wall? I need to see more. How do we see more of this game? That's all everyone wanted to do. And they were like, I have to get past this wall. And they fucking found a way to get past the goddamn wall and look at all this shit. And everyone was going fucking nuts. Giant open plain. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Botting a bunch of people are making fucking videos because they found one item and shit. Because it's that good. Because you look around and you're like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? What's that thing over there? Did you look at the top of the map?
Because everything's got meaning. Everything they do has meaning. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, going back to how this conversation started, you know what we got in the original Game of Thrones books. You've seen what we've gotten already from them, which no company has done recently. No company in, I think, the past couple years has been like, get it. Tell us if you put this in your mouth, chew on it, tell us how it tastes. And they were like, here you go. And all of us were like, please give me more.
Well, it's funny because that network test came out, I think, shortly before after the Battlefield network test came out. And it was like the exact opposite. Everyone's like, this is fucking awful. You guys have to stop. Like, don't let the game come out like this. And then, of course, they did. Now the game's dead because, yeah. And then Elden Ring comes out and goes, here's a little bit. And everyone's like, we want it now. So it's like,
yep.
I think the confidence to show, like, they actually came out with the gameplay trailer that shows, hey, this is how the game works with the working engine, and this is like in-game stuff. They didn't have to make like a cinematic trailer. They did the cinematic story trailer after they did the network test and after they did like, you know, the gameplay like reveal, like, hey, here's how the game works. And so we knew exactly what the game was going to look like already. We knew how it was going to play. And then they're like, okay, here's the other stuff.
Think about that for a minute. So we got one video, maybe two videos on the game in like 4 years or 3 years, however fucking long it was. Everyone was just drooling at the mouth. Then they were like, hey, play this. And with no marketing, this game, after being released early to us in a test and zero marketing, it's probably going to outsell everything in 2022. And here's why. Everyone who's into gaming is probably into this more so than a lot of stuff I've seen in my life. Because
go ahead. Sorry, I was gonna interrupt you.
One of the biggest things that I remember growing up is people were like, so what kind of video games do you play? This is before video games were cool. A lot of you guys don't understand what that was like. Right. People would be like, so what, you know, like Madden and cool stuff? Or you like, you know, like weird like Final Fantasy games. Like Final Fantasy was like a genre to them because they were so like stupid on this thing. This is the first time since like Final Fantasy 7 where you would have like Madden guys be like, hey man, so Final Fantasy 7 game looks pretty cool. Should I pick that up? Is that a good one? And like the universes started merging because now I've got people that play Call of Duty, Battlefield, and people on the Discord too, like who are like shooter fans and like JRPG fans. They're like, so Elden Ring was looking pretty good, man. I'm like, yeah, it is. And everyone's like, yeah, man. Well,
because here's the thing.
Not a lot of bad stuff. Yeah, there's nothing.
It's going to outsell everything for multiple reasons. Not only is it on all the consoles and PC and stuff, everything besides Switch, but I feel like it'll get a Switch port. It's not the most like high fidelity game. I feel like it could work on the Switch, but
maybe.
Yeah, I think it could. You take back the draw distance a little bit. I think it'll probably run on the Switch.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's that, but it's also the FromSoft franchise has also gotten explodedly big, and anybody who does any sort of gaming is aware of the Souls series. and for good or bad reason, where like people know. And so this is going to be this is going to be the next step for people who don't really play Souls games to get on board with everybody else, because it's basically like a new IP. Not really, but it is technically. And then it has everything that most gamers want in a game. It's got story now. It's got a big open world for you to explore, and a lot of people just like doing the exploring thing, finding stuff, taking pictures, doing like that whole thing, like not actually, you know, going out and fighting. It's got Dark Souls combat, which is arguably some of the best combat out there. Monster Hunter is better, but Monster Hunter, it's good. It's good.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just the Monster Hunter is just better designed for some of the monsters. Like that's what there's some fights in the From Software series that give Monster Hunter a run for their money. You can't argue that. Like, you know, there are like some of the Bloodborne fights from old Hunters. Like, like you know, like they're just as intricate on the controller and on how you got to counteract and, you know, wait for an opening and know you know what I mean. Like they're just as difficult. There's some up there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so it's got everything. It's got the stories, it's got the open landscape, it's got the combat style, it's got the setting, like this weird, like I would say like dark fantasy setting that appeals to a lot of people. I think the only people that this game's not really going to appeal to are, I mean, kids that play Fortnite and people that really like sci-fi stuff. I mean, everyone else.
I think sci-fi can get into. I think you can make that jump from fantasy to sci-fi pretty easily if the game.
You think? I don't know. I feel like the player base, like the people who play like fucking Warhammer and like other.
Warhammer can get into this. If you're like an RTS only dude, then you wouldn't get into this. Warhammer, you're getting into this. You're 100% into this. But Warhammer, it is Dark Souls. It's the same thing. It's, you know, some plague spreading. You got some weird, like Nidos from fucking. I can't remember what the undead fucking people are in Warhammer.
The Chaos?
Yeah, but like there's like a specific one that would remind me of Nito, and I'm trying to remember his fucking name. It's not like Yarzgul or Nazgul or whatever. There's another one. I can't remember his fucking name or something.
That's not Warhammer though, is it?
Yeah, there's like five of them in there, man. Like I just can't remember their names.
All
right. Anyway, that's pretty much everything we got.
Actually, I wanted to talk about just a few other things since we're here. So, talked about Remnant earlier. So, been on the Remnant Discords, and I've been helping them test a mod for Remnant for a little bit. Basically, Ari and a couple other people that do a lot of like Remnant content creation are doing like a big overhaul. It's kind of like Ice for Remnant. It's called Ari's Hell, but basically. It redoes like a bunch of the items, rebalances the game, adds new items, changes all the shit around, and then adds a bunch more enemy spawns. And now you can have like bosses roaming the worlds and stuff that just basically harass you, and they're gonna like have a chance to drop some of these new items and stuff to force you to fight them. And they redid a bunch of the boss fights to change what monsters spawn and how they work. And so that should be coming out hopefully by the end of the year. I can't really show videos or anything on it because they don't let me do that right now, and that's fine. But they did say it's going to come out hopefully, you know, sometime or after Christmas. It's like their Christmas present to the Remnant community. And they did have a stream showcasing it. If you guys wanted to see it, I think Bolt Jameson on Twitch streamed it. He did like a 6-hour stream or whatever as they went through most of the campaign on Hell mode and co-op, and it's fucking crazy. But I just want to get that out there for the people who did come to my YouTube channel from Remnant, because Remnant's a fucking great game, and I'm glad to see that mods are starting to be made for it, and I want to keep the game alive because it's really fucking good. It's one of my favorite games in the past couple of years, so I didn't want to bring that up.
I'm behind it.
So yeah.
Anytime you talk about Remnant, you get excited. So
I get really excited. I love Remnant. Oh, so and then what's going on with Pokemon for you, Jen? Like your High Roller stuff just ended, right?
Yep. So if you guys don't remember, I run the highest cash competitive league for Pokemon in the world. We're ending season 3 of it, and we're going to be starting season 4 in January for both Sword and Shield and for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. So if anyone's interested, I'll make sure that we put the link here at the bottom of the videos for interest signups. It is a cash league where you play competitively every week based off of a draft pool. So your tenure in Pokemon doesn't really matter. It's really just all about your excitement and knowing your specific team, because it's not about, you don't have the opportunity to learn and, have to worry about 10 years of experience or anything along those lines, because each season, the draft is going to be a little bit different. So the monsters that are available and that you have on your team to use each week are going to be vastly different as well. So strategies have to be kind of invented every single week for your matchup. It's pretty fucking fun. Yeah.
Let's say, is there any other restrictions compared to normal VGCs? It's still 2v2s, like one item, no duplicate mons kind of thing?
Yeah, same thing, just like that, man. We kind of run it just, here's the mons, normal rules, whatever the season is, and we try to keep all mons available except for restricteds for obvious reasons, because they're just shouldn't be in competitive play. And yeah, man, just keep it kind of going. 8 weeks usually is the season, and you win money every single week. Playoffs, you start winning some big cash.
Well, what kind of big cash?
Hundreds of dollars a game, up to like $1,000 game at the end of the season.
Wow. Cool. Do you play just one game, or do you like 3 out of 5 or something?
Best of 3 every week.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Sounds fun. How many people were playing last season?
We usually get between 30 and 45.
That's a pretty good size. Cool.
Yeah, we want to get up to 60, but it takes a little bit of time. You got to have commitment to, spend a couple hours a week just prepping your team, because you don't want to throw money down the drain every week. You're looking at a $25 a week commitment right now. Every time you lose, you have to pay your opponent $25. Every time you win, you don't have to do shit. You just collect $25. So, yeah. Can end up draining your pocket if you end up not doing well in a season.
Yeah, just get good, man. I mean, that's what it's for. It's for the people who are really into that competitive Pokemon scene.
Yep. Or if you're just really into playing that game and trying to see where you stand, it's always good because you see some high-level players just get their shit kicked in because someone spent some time putting a lot of effort into their being creative, and because, like I said about the format, it's not really done before, so tenureship doesn't matter. It's all about how much effort you're putting in and how creative you can be. And there's some people crossing over from other video games, people crossing over from other streaming communities, and that are really kind of kicking some ass. So awesome to see.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully that picks up some more. So obviously you're going to be continuing it with the remakes. Any plans to integrate Legend of Arceus at all, or is that still up in the air because I don't really know what that game is going to do?
Gotta see what they're going on. If they're not going to do a competitive thing, I can't get behind it, but I'm hoping they're at least bringing the monsters over from that, because some of them look pretty sweet. The region-based Zoroark is Ghost and Normal, which is the first time we've had that in terms of typing in 9 generations or 9 whatever. 8 generations. I don't know if you'd consider this the next gen with Arceus, however you want to consider it.
I don't know. I feel like it's more of a spin-off thing. I want to consider it Gen 9.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, cool to see, and hopefully they bring it over to Sword and Shield so I can rock the fuck out of that mon.
Does it have a new ability, or is it still just Illusionist?
I don't know, man, but normal and fighting has no weaknesses, so I will Dynamax that motherfucker like it's hot and just start slapping people in the face behind screens.
Or you mean normal Ghost? It's not weak to Dark?
No.
You sure?
It's got 2 or 3 weaknesses. Maybe it's weak to Dark.
Okay, yeah, I was it should be weak to Dark, and I think that's it. Fucking Dark, because Normal's only really weak to fighting, but that's immune from Ghost. Ghost is weak to Ghost and Dark, but Normal's immune to Ghost. So
can't remember how it plays out. I smoked before I got on here.
All right, well, we should wrap this up though. But
that's cool.
That's cool. So thanks for hanging around, Jen. Always appreciate it. Good, just catching up on the happenings with the game and verse. So
absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, dude. I'm sure we'll be getting another one out next week as well.
Yeah. Oh, actually, next week is Christmas, so
we'll do one after. We'll drink and do it around Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, like we always do.
Like peppermint schnapps post Christmas nonsense. Okay.
Little tastiness.
That works. All right, cool. Well, thanks for hanging around, people. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be back in a week or so. So
love you, everybody.
Peace.
Bye bye.